Well, let's talk to Peter Mathews. He's an author and professor of political science at Cypress College. He joins us live from Los Angeles. Peter Mathews, so a big win for Trump in his home state of New York. How decisive was this for him, even though he didn't get all 95 delegates that he wanted?
Well, it was a huge win. In fact, he got about 89 delegates out of 95, which is over 90% of the delegates. A much bigger victory for him than for, say, Hillary over Sanders, although that was significant as well. One more thing about the Hillary Sanders numbers, 57%. She got 57%, he got 43% of the vote. But she ended up with about 55% of the delegates. He got 45% of the delegates because it's different. The Democratic side is not winner take all, unlike the Republican side. The Democratic side is more of a proportional representation. And therefore, it was less of a big decision on the Hillary side than on the Trump side. Trump, it was a tremendous victory for him because getting those delegates puts him much closer to getting the final 1,237 delegates needed. He's not that far from it, and he's on a roll right now, and he's got a lot of northeastern states where he's actually very strong, including in Pennsylvania and Indiana as well.
Peter, you
the
talk about...
the Democrats is Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I was going to say, you talk about Hillary Clinton
Yes.
there. She'll be breathing a big sigh of relief tonight. She really needed this win, didn't she?
Yes. She absolutely needed this win, and I'm sure she's very relieved that she won, and won with about 15% of the vote when the polls were showing between 20% margin or 10% margin. She split the difference and came out with a 15% victory over him. And Bernie hasn't given up, though. Bernie's campaign is more of a social movement, and he's got 4 million people or donations of $27 each, and he cannot drop out now. First of all, he doesn't believe in dropping out. Secondly, if he drops out, he will be betraying those millions of donors across the country who believe in small donations controlling American politics, not the big donors. Whereas with Hillary, you know, she's got lots of big donors as well. So there's a big difference there. I don't see Bernie dropping out at all. He's going to go stronger than ever before and try to take it all the way to the end to California.
What does this mean then, Peter, for Ted Cruz? I mean, Trump said that he was mathematically eliminated. So where do Cruz and John Kasich go from here then?
I can't say he's completely mathematically eliminated because there's still a chance that Trump might fall short slightly, in which case those delegates, there are about 100 and something delegates that Republicans can actually change their delegate preference at the end of the convention, and they could go and support Trump. I know one thing, there's a big split in the Republican Party, and it's going to cause a lot of problems whether Trump wins the nomination or not, and the party could actually end up disintegrating eventually the way it's going. However, it was a big victory for Trump and for Hillary in some sense. You must say that. I don't think this is over yet, though, and we have to keep our eye on the ball because these states coming up can be very different in their outcomes. And furthermore, you got to remember something else. There's two visions for America here, especially between Hillary and Bernie. Bernie's vision is to have a revolution, a political revolution, meaning structural change, you know, taxing the rich more, closing loopholes, bringing in universal health care, and having single-payer and free education. Hillary wants to go step by step, gradually toward reform. So it's revolution versus reform. Peaceful revolution, of course, for Bernie, and then reform for Hillary. Two different visions, an FDR vision versus a systematic step-by-step vision. Then you got Trump out there who's all over the place, and Cruz, who's very right-wing with a Tea Party agenda. So the American voters are not short of choices right now.
Peter, just a final thought from you. I mean, Clinton has a huge amount of infrastructure and money behind her campaign. She's looking very presidential at the moment, isn't she?
Well, she can afford to act that way now, but the point is, will she be able to bring over some of those Bernie supporters? If she ends up winning the nomination, can she bring the Bernie people who are so committed to him to leave and support her against Trump? Some of them are going to be very bitter about the way the system has been rigged to some extent against Bernie, and the Democratic Party leadership hasn't been very even-handed. That's the problem. She has to get over that now and bring them aboard if she wins. I'm not writing off Bernie entirely yet. So it's going to be a very interesting race to see from now on.
All right, Peter, we have to leave it there. Thank you very much indeed for your time.
Thank you. My pleasure.